Hey folks, welcome to our first Jurassic World Rebirth review. Here we are with the tail Thrasher Spinosaurus. And you can see this is a huge figure. It is a really cool addition to the toy line. I wanted to start with this over the Distortus because this was the figure I was most excited for when I saw it revealed. You can see we get the new packaging treatment. You've got the Jurassic World Rebirth logo, these really nicely balanced colours, which reflect colours seen on the designs in the film for the new version of InGen. We have got a render of the Spinosaurus just there. Does look quite different to the actual toy. I have to admit, when I saw the Spinosaurus in the film, I was not a fan. In that first trailer, it took a little while to grow on me, but this toy I was incredibly excited for. I just think it's a really good toy. You can see on the side of the packaging we have the Rebirth logo. On the other side, another Rebirth logo. And then on the back of the packaging we get a closer look at the Spino. So you can see its play feature. It has one main play feature, which is you press a button 3 times to charge it. So it's kind of on a motor system. And when it's charged, the tail and the head swing back and forth at the same time. And it is an incredibly cool play feature. We do also have down in the corner here a closer look at the Mosasaurus. I believe that is the Bite and Blast Mosasaurus, which I didn't pick up. I'm going to wait and get the Super Colossal. And we do also have information for the Dino DNA or Dino Facts app. Again, the really nice colour treatment. You can see some of the lines here reflective of the Jeep we actually see in Rebirth. Mattel have always knocked it out of the park with their packaging. So I am assuming because this is a larger dinosaur, we are probably going to need to take it out of the packaging via the base. Maybe not actually. Let's just... that's an interesting one. Let's cut the strands and see. I would be shocked if this is not secured in at the base. Yeah, it is secured at the base to some extent. So that is interesting because usually there's a little access door on the bottom, as you've seen before. I have no idea how we get to that then. Maybe we need to fold down this front section. So let's just do that together quickly here. Let's just deconstruct this lovely new packaging and take a look. So yes, okay, so that makes a lot more sense. So it is secured inside with one tab, as you can see just there. Interestingly, these used to be accessible from the outside of the packaging, but they're not anymore. So I wonder if that's a response to problems with store theft and that kind of thing. So we do just have a little tab to cut free here, and then we have our Spino out of the packaging. So we'll place that down. Move this out the way and come onto the Spino. So you can see immediately this is quite an imposing figure. It looks really cool. And what I want to do to begin with is to bring in the most recent Spinosaurus, or at least I believe it's the most recent one, just to give you a sense of scale. So as you can see there, despite the Rebirth design being a lot squatter, it is actually taller than the traditional Spinosaurus figures that we've received. So that's a really interesting detail to note. Apologies for the slight adjustment with the camera there. So moving that out of the way, now we've seen that, we can take a closer look at this Spinosaurus. And the first thing I'm struck by is this sail. So you can see we have got loads of texture work in here. Everything you would expect for a Spinosaurus, lots of pebbling on the skin. We then do have these little kind of sharp spikes coming out of the sail. And obviously the sail is so much more pronounced than on previous Spinosaurs. So that's one really interesting detail to note with this one. Again, the body is a lot thicker, a lot squatter. And where that really translates to is the neck. So whereas on the previous releases of the Spinosaur and the previous design, the neck was relatively normal for a theropod, here it feels very thick and stocky. And you can see there is a little bit of kind of almost muscle hanging down from the neck. We do, as you can see just here, get some lovely underbelly paint all across the belly and going up that jaw just there, which looks really cool. And while we're here, we might as well take a quick look at the Dino Facts App code, which is now on the base of the figure again. So nice iteration there. Now when we look at the head, you can see that the jaws are very different to what we've seen in previous Spinos. The head here doesn't have the pronounced crest. Instead, it kind of almost has skin that feels quite stretched, and you can see when the jaws lock together, they do overlap quite nicely. Now, it is important to note you can, as you can see just here, keep the jaws shut or have it open if you want to. So that is separate to the play feature. I don't quite know how I did it, but with a little bit of jiggery pokery, you can get that jaw shut for toy photography. And again, you've got the nice yellows on the eyes, the orange stripes continue, and I just think there's a lot of depth in the sculpt here. You can really see, almost to me, where that skin feels like it's stretching. And again, the teeth are all different lengths as well. These are the new separate rubber teeth, and then in the mouth itself, you can see the pink paintwork. So that's all cool. We do get forearms, as you can see here, and these feel like very Spinosaurus-esque forearms. They're much shorter than the previous ones, but they do still have 3 fingers. Unfortunately, there is no paint on the nails. That is something that I feel is always missing on these figures, is paint on the finger claws. That would just elevate them a little bit further. But as you saw earlier, we do have paint on the toe claws, and these are actually, rather than paint, a separate sculpted piece, as you can see just there. So that works quite well. Then coming down the tail, you can see the tail, we've got more of a paddle tail this time, again implying more that the Spinosaurus was able to swim, reflecting more recent scientific discoveries. What we do have as well is a lot of texture underneath the tail that feels very reptilian, which looks really good. And you can see broken into several pieces for the play feature. So before we come on to that play feature, we will talk articulation. So in terms of the head, it can move back and forth, as you can see, but that is not a joint that will hold any friction. So you can have it there, but it's not going to hold friction. As we saw, you can close the jaw, but whether you're able to get it to stay shut or not, there's no guaranteed way to do it. You can just make it work. Now on the legs cannot go forward at all. The body is too thick to do that. They can go back by 1 notch, but that is as much movement as you're getting. So your Spino can pretty much be posed like this or like this. And that is all of the movement that you're getting out of those legs, unfortunately. Now, the feet do have rotating ankles. As you can see, they're on kind of a locked system. The arms can come forward, back, and in and out. And then, as you saw, the tail is split across 4 different joints, but they are all very much tied into the play feature. So without any further ado, let's look at that play feature. So there is a button hidden in the Spinosaurus's sail just here, and what we do is press that in 3 times. And you can see we get that really, really cool movement. I'm going to do that again one more time for you. I think that is phenomenal. I have never seen a play feature on a toy like that. I think it works really well for this Spinosaurus, and I'm really happy with it. I do have some fears about how this will age over time. I think it's probably the kind of mechanism that will break quite easily, but overall, this is a cool figure. Now, if we do it once, you can see we still get movement as well. So basically, if you do it the full 3 times, it will reset to its natural position, and you will get a slightly longer sound effect. Now, you might not be able to pick it up on the microphone, but I can hear the metal wheezing a little bit as it does that, the plastic wheezing. So I do think over time this is a delicate mechanism, but for what is a unique play feature that collectors probably won't use that often, I think it's a really, really cool toy. I do just worry a little bit about the durability over time for younger fans who might want to play with this a lot. But with all of that said, guys, that is this review of the tail Thrasher Spinosaurus. A really, really great addition to the Jurassic World Rebirth line. An awesome toy to kick off this review series with. This one really has lived up to my expectations, and I'm really glad I picked it up. Let me know what you think of the tail Thrasher Spinosaurus in the comments below. Make sure to like, favourite and subscribe. And until the next video, take care and have a great week.